Hey, what's up? I'm back. As I promised that I was going to do a video, well, not only one video, but actually a series of videos of the Orishas, um, dealing with them on an individual basis, explaining one Orisha at a time, all of their aspects, things like their numbers, their colors, their days of the week, um, pretty much everything that contributes to who the Orisha is, what the Orisha is. I'll be telling some of the apokryphs or the stories behind the Orisha, and also, I'm gonna do something a little special myself. Everybody knows that the Orisha are synchronized with saints. This was pretty much, I already explained the purpose to protect the identity, protect the Yoruba guys without them dying off. Um, Perfect example of how smart humans can become to preserve something that's very dear and special to them. But what I'm gonna go into is I'm gonna explain very deeply on how some of the Orisha actually connect to biblical people, biblical characters. There, for every Orisha, I see a biblical character behind it, and there's such a deep connection. It's not exactly the saint that they're synchronized with, but it is more of a significant person in the Bible as opposed to a saint. So what I'm going to start off with now is I'm going to start off with Ellegua. This right here is Ellegua. Ellegua is number one. As far as I'm concerned, Ellegua is the number one Orisha in the Yoruba tradition of Santeria. Ellegua is always consulted first. Whenever a ritual is going to be conducted, whenever a ceremony is going to go underway, whenever, see what else, whenever somebody does a spell, whenever you need a door opened in your life, you must consult Ellegua first. Ellegua, number one. Um, the reason for this is because in the Patiki, or a story of a Legua, is that Olofi, or God, he was sick, and pretty much none of the Orisha had any knowledge of any of the herbs or how to heal Olofi. And so they all tried, and it didn't work. And one day the child, the Legua, stepped forward and said, "Well, let me try." Everybody looked like, "Oh, you're just a child. How could you? You couldn't heal the fee, especially the oldest Orishas couldn't do it. What makes you think that a child can do it?" So Elegua goes back to the earth and gets together his herbs, and he creates a potion. Um, Goes back up and heals Olofi. Gives him the medicine, and Olofi is better. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, Elegua healed Olofi. How did this happen?" Of course, Ellegua already knew that he was going to do it. But Olofi, after he became good again, he said, "Since this day forth, since Ellegua has saved me, Ellegua will be the first Orisha to be served in any ceremony or any rite. Ellegua, you have to ask permission first from God, first from Olofi. You have to ask permission, and then second, which is still first, you have to go to Ellegua. You have to ask permission for Elegua, because Elegua holds the keys to the doors. Elegua is the one who stands on the crossroads. Elegua is pretty much the guardian of all that. He rules over all those aspects. So, like, especially with people when you come to like a block in your life, or a place where you feel like you're stuck, Elegua is what I would call, even in Catholic terms, the patron of that, because he he opens new doors for people, for new opportunities to present themselves, and that's why he's very useful in every aspect, including love, um, prosperity, job opportunities, all kinds of stuff like that. Anything you can think of in which a door needs to be opened in one's life, and Legua is the door opener. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick, simple facts for Legua. Um, Legua's day is Monday. His day of the sacred day of the week is Monday. His colors are red and black. I'll explain why red and black in a little bit. What else about Legua? Legua comes in different aspects. Some aspects, he's an old wise man, a storyteller, he's a trickster, or his most common aspect, a very young child. Um, Legua has a lot of knowledge of herbs. He is a part of the warriors, which is a set of orishas that everybody receives when they first get initiated, which includes Ochosi, Ogun, Ilegua, and Osun. Now I'm gonna go more into detail about my my personal theory on Ellegua and who he truly is relating biblically. Um, so the first time when everybody sees the colors red and black, you automatically think, oh, the devil. That's partially true in the case of Ellegua. Um, of course, he's most important to Olofi. He's actually the mediator between the two worlds. He goes back and forth in between heaven and the earth, very similar to how angels do. He brings messages, very similar to Hermes of the Greek pantheon. Ellegua, when here's another apatiki. I'm gonna use a story from Santeria and apatiki, and then I'm gonna compare it to a biblical story. So follow me with this. I've read that there is a time where all the Orisha, all the humans on the world, and everything was perfect, very similar to the situation of the Garden of Eden. Um, but let's fast forward way past the Garden of Eden. Let's even just say in general, the Orisha and the humans were on the world, and everything was great. Evil came to the world. Um, and some Apatikis, they speak of a deity called Olosi, which is a very, very concentrated manifestation of evil. Some talk about the Egungun. The Egungun, I would say personally, I think I would relate the Egungun to demons. But regardless, evil came to the world. Nobody knew what to do. Um, not even the Orisha. We don't know how to deal with this. We don't know how to deal with the evil. So Ellegua stepped forward and say, I'm going to sacrifice myself. I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to become evil so I can understand evil so that I can defeat evil. So this isn't an official apatiki, but this is a little something that I came up with meditating. I just felt like this entity they called Olosi, who in the beginning was created, and he was immortally rebelled and he couldn't be destroyed. Um, I believe that Ellegua destroyed Olosi. I believe that Ellegua truly did destroy that evil entity that had came to the world that had brought evil with him. But here's the problem. That's where the blackhead came in. That's where Eshu had came in. Like Ellegua Eshu. Eshu is the second aspect of Ellegua. Ellegua, in a way, kind of like the same way Jesus sacrificed himself on the cross so that people could be forgiven of their sins. Ellegua had sacrificed himself by diminishing evil, but also becoming evil. Because all the energy that he had destroyed from the physical body of evil had to go somewhere, and it went in him, and that was the sacrifice that he had made. So we would learn how to deal with those evils in the world. Uh, Let me think. Also, another ironic thing is the fact that Jesus died on the cross, and the Legua is the Orisha of the crossroads. There's always somehow a cross is involved. I just find that relatively interesting. But yeah, so I believe that Legua did make that sacrifice, and that's how he ended up with two aspects, Eshu and the Legua. Eshu is the devil. And you know what? When I say that, it's kind of like it's not like, oh, Eshu is bad. We should no. Eshu needs to be respected, just because of the simple fact that he causes he if he's respected, he'll stay away. If a lot of negative energy is put out towards him, he'll follow and he'll cause inconveniences in people's life. But so you have a Legua, which is pretty much the devil, and he causes problems. He creates the crossroads, and he doesn't want you to succeed. He doesn't want you to get past. He's pretty much the darker side of the Legua. But in Santeria, we respect both aspects. We don't look at them and say, oh, this is satanic, blah blah blah. Legua and Eshu are one. You hear a lot of Gnostics say that Jesus and Lucifer are the same thing. It's the same exact concept. Um, Legua is the child. Legua is Mercury, the morning star. And in the Bible, they make a reference to Lucifer as the morning star. They also make a reference to Jesus as the morning star. And if you don't believe me, I have the verses. Look at my Facebook. Um, so this is the concept of the whole Gnostic belief where they say Jesus and Lucifer are the same. I believe Ellegua to be that same exact concept. just because he sacrificed himself to defeat evil, but in the process he kind of became one with it, so that he knew whenever evil came around, how to defeat it. Because how they say know your enemies. That's exactly what Ellegua did. So Ellegua has two sides now. He has Ellegua, the sacred, the holy child, and he has Eshu, which is the older, the darker version of Ellegua. And personally, I see that very similar to the sacrifice that Jesus made. Yeah, it's different in the sense of how it happened. Jesus didn't exactly fight off the evil entity and become evil. No, he died on the cross to pretty much destroy the sin of the world. Um, but as far as sacrifices are concerned, I see such a similarity on how this Orisha did that for the humans, and also Ellegua being number one to Olofi, you could consider him like, Jesus Christ was like the Son of God. And it's very similar how Ellegua is highly regarded to Olofi as the number one Orisha. Just how in Christianity Jesus is the number one. They have the saints and they have Mary, but Jesus is number one when all comes down to it after God himself. Um, so yeah, this is Ellegua Eshu. Like I said, I honor both of their aspects. He opens up many doors. Um, they'll bring them different offerings like rum, candy. Loves the color red. Eshu loves black. Uh, so yeah, I mean, questions, comments, opinions. I'm open to anything, positive, negative. I don't take nothing personal. But this is the Orisha Ellegua. A very, very much respected and very, very powerful Orisha in our tradition. And like I said, this isn't the first video. I'll be making videos of other Orishas and how they relate to biblical characters and biblical stories and whatnot. So have a nice day. Marifuna Legua. Yashayo.